everybody, it's Krista, and today I want to talk about pricing for your service-based business. So you're a coach, a consultant, a service provider of some sort, and you are thinking about your pricing and want to know what you should charge and what's too expensive or what's the right price. And this is pretty common because if you've come from like an employee background and then now you are freelancing, consulting, starting your own business, it is so different, right? And a lot of people make this mistake to try to price things as if they were still employees. So what that means is you're like, well, at my job, I made this amount per hour. So that's what I'm going to try to charge people for my services. And that is so wrong. Just don't compare, because running a business, we can sit down and do the math. There's a lot more costs associated, including paying your own taxes, paying your own insurance, all the software and legal and financial and all the stuff you need to run a business that you're not going to get that as profit, right? So, don't ever compare your old kind of hourly job to your business. It's super important not to do that. But today we're really going to go into it. So let's talk about the types of income that you could have, right? So the first one is a two-figure income, right? So, well, two-figure, 1 to 2 figures. So what could this be? What would you sell that would be $0 to $99? One of the examples would be an ebook, which could be anywhere between $3 and $24. Those are like the typical price range. Up to, there's courses that are $97, but they have to be very simple, downloadable, and don't require anything further. So this is stuff that is nice to have. This is stuff that maybe saves you a little bit of time, like a downloadable template or a book that gives you some valuable information. And there is no personal contact with the creator who produced this. It's just like, here you go, I paid my money and I got it, right? And it does not provide anything transformative for you. It's going to be more of a help for you. And sometimes maybe it's a workshop, like how to write a resume. Those could be in the two-figure range for sure, workshops. The next level is the three-figure level. So anything from $100 to $9.99, excuse my bad handwriting. But for that kind of money, what you can expect is you can expect to get something like a course or a program, okay? So it's getting very rare to find a course that's under, 3 figures. So typically courses are anywhere between $297 and $997, which is a wide range. And we're going to talk about that, but just to set the tone of what you can expect for 3 figures is some kind of a course, or maybe you can get an hour or two personalized time with somebody. Like I do LinkedIn audits for 3 figures, right? And so, it's either a course or something that should help them in one specific area, because it's a program that somebody's built and they're like, it's a do-it-yourself follow along program. And that's what you're going to get for 3 figures. So moving on then to the next level is 4 figures, right? So anything over $1,000 all the way to $9,999. Again, excuse my handwriting. And when you invest 4 figures, you're probably going to get one-on-one with an expert. That could be something like done for you services, or it could be coaching, one-on-one coaching, like a coaching package. And but it's going to be short term. So I think for anywhere in the 4-figure range, $1,000 to $10,000, you're going to get about anywhere between a month to 6 months time, and that's it. So you will get some personalized help, and you should see a before and after. So you should be able to clearly see, when I started, I was at this point. When I ended, I was at this point. And you could be able to list off all the things you have gotten from that investment. But it's usually going to be a one-on-one, and it's a short-term investment, right? So, and the last one is the big one. So anything over $10,000, $10,000 all the way to $99,000, right? So for a 5-figure investment, what can you expect? What you're going to get is you're going to get long-term one-on-one with an expert. And that would probably be like coaching for 12 months would be in that range. You're definitely going to get personal attention. You're definitely going to see a transformation before and after, or you're going to get a deliverable that is very valuable to you. Like for this kind of range, you can get a website for your business. You can get a fly-through high quality sales video reel. You know, a video reel is like a marketing advertising video. You know, for this range, you can get a package of services. Like you can work with an agency, like a whole digital agency, who will do all your social media marketing for you, will produce an array of assets for you. So in that range, it's this very, very wide range. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of different service packages that can come. But the one thing is for sure is that these assets will be very, very valuable to you. So as you invest more money, the value of the ROI, return on investment, will increase accordingly. So if you invest a little, you're going to get a little return. You invest a lot, you're going to get a lot of return. And you might be saying, oh, but that's not always the case. Well, that's why you have to be careful whom you invest in. Do your research to see who's really nailing it, who's doing a great job, who has proven results. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys. If you're a service-based business and you're trying to set your prices, here's how I like to think of pricing. I like to think you charge based on how valuable it is to your audience. Now, you will get inquiries from people who are not ready for what you offer, and they're just kind of shopping around, or they don't have enough courage. They have a lot of fear. They don't want to invest in themselves yet. And you will get inquiries from people who just simply aren't your audience at all. And they don't really value what you do. And you'll know right away because they won't be impressed. They'll just be like, you know, this just doesn't sound right. Or they'll start nickeling and diming you, questioning you a lot. They're time wasters. And the reason they're wasting your time isn't malicious. It's because they're really not your target audience. They're not interested. They don't really value what you offer. You'll know right away you've got the right client when they clearly understand the value you provide. And that's on you as well, right? So it's a two-way street. People who are time wasters, they're just like going to contact multiple people, even if they don't really value what you do. But there's also the case where you're not positioning yourself in the right light. You're not optimizing for sales, and you're not pitching enough. Like you don't have a good sales video. You don't have all your testimonials. You don't have a good list of outcomes that the person or can expect from hiring you and your agency or whatever you do. And that's what people buy. They want to see the transformation, right? So make sure whatever level you're at, that you are thinking about that. Now, obviously, if you start out very low and you're in like the 2-figure range, for example, you published a book, you want to sell as many darn books as possible. So the lower your pricing point, the more you're going to have to use additional services to sell it. So you're going to have to invest your money into paying to sell that. So if I have a book, I'm going to have to give a cut to Amazon. I'm going to have to maybe have an agent give them a cut, or go through a publishing company, give them a cut. I'm going to have to maybe run ads to get people to buy this book. So the lower the pricing point, the more you need to spend, because what matters there is quantity. So, if you've got a price product that's really low, that's in the 2-figure range, you need to sell a lot of them to make money. So the only way to ramp up your quantity is to get help. And the usual help is paid advertising, Google advertising, YouTube advertising, Facebook, Instagram advertising, even LinkedIn advertising, or hire an agency to help you with this. Or, so it's gonna cost you money to make money on this teeny little product that doesn't really cost much. Or PR. If you have a book, you probably want to hire a PR agent to get a lot of positive reviews for you, get more people coming in to see this book. And then the 3-figure range. So the 3-figure range, it's really a one-time nice to have. So, it's a course or a program, and it's very simple. You can go in, and usually it's like modular, where you see exactly what you're getting for the 3 figures. And you're going to be able to go in there and just take the course, consume the information, and implement it in your business. It is not going to be life-changing. For 3 figures, you're not going to get something that blows your mind, but you may be delighted because it may simplify things immensely. Like, I get delighted about apps that are like, $7. So, I'm not saying that you won't be happy. I'm just saying that a course will never change your life. Once you get into the 4-figure range, that's where you see the transformation. And that's where we play with either the short term, which is a 4-figure short term, or a long term, which is 5 figures, and sometimes even 6 figures, right? I mean, depending on who you're hiring. I think the range depends a lot on your brand. So the more success you have, the more you've been validated, the higher rates you can charge for the exact same service. So once we get into, this range, the 4-figure or the 5-figure ranges, then what makes the difference between charging $10,000 and charging $99,000? It's all about vetted results. So the more you can show that you have really top grade clients, you're giving them top grade results, you've been validated publicly by some very impressive figures who say that you're the right expert to hire, you can up your rates immediately. So I don't think you're getting less value if you opt for someone in a lower category, but I do think that you have more of a risk factor because you don't know if they have success or not, right? And it's a little bit getting harder and harder with all the fake testimonials that are out there today. But no matter what, if you want a transformation, short term or long term, you are looking at 4 to 5 figures for sure. Okay. So now that you kind of get an idea of what these different categories should correspond to, how do you set your pricing? Well, you're going to ask yourself, is this a one-off downloadable do-it-yourself thing? And it gives them a little bit of value, like an ebook or a template, a digital product, then it's probably in the 2-figure range. If it is something that has several modules with downloadables, videos, really step-by-step process, how to do something, and if there's a lot of learning involved, it should be a course or a program. It should be in the 3-figure range. If it is transformational and they're getting personal attention, they're actually getting you one-on-one, it should be in the 4-figure range. And anything that's personal attention and transformational long-term should be in the 5-figure range. So it's pretty easy to figure out what you're trying to offer, where you should be, right? And then obviously you have to decide how to price it in terms of the actual payments. So there's a few options. There are package payments, there are one-off payments, and there are subscription monthly payments. Okay. So a package payment would be for the 4-figure or 5-figure range. It could be, you know, let's say you're doing personal training with a fitness trainer and you say, I am going to buy, a package of 5 sessions with you for $1,000. And this is how you package it. You say 5 sessions and it's up. And nowadays, most package deals always have an expiration date. So you need to use it or lose it. And they do this because coaches want to make sure you're actually training. And they also don't want to have this open billings where they didn't deliver the services. They don't know when you're coming back. They can't really take on too many new clients because you're kind of taking up space, right? So that's why it's important to count the sessions and then also have an expiration date. Now, the second type that I mentioned is a one-off price. So for a book, a downloadable, a template, you just pay once and you're done. And also for software, obviously. So usually they'll be like, okay, it's kind of a reoccurring payment per year, but it's like a one-off payment for 12 months, right? And then you're safe for 12 months. And then the third type of billings would be a reoccurring subscription model. So what you can do is you can say, you need to commit to buying a package of, let's just use the same example, $1,000 for fitness. But I am going to give you a payment plan where you can pay me and you can use it up over time. So for example, instead of saying by session, you could say this is valid for 2 months. Just giving an example, right? And for 2 months, you get 2 sessions per month. So you get 4 sessions total. And it's just another way of billing. There's advantages and disadvantages. I think that you should always try to give people discounts if they pay up front, give them a little bit bonuses, give them extra so that they're more incentivized to pay up front. But I do think that you'll get more clients if you have payment plans. If you accept to bill per month, you're going to get more clients. There is an additional cost to you though, because if you get one payment in one time for a package, you pay one fee. But if you have them coming back every month, paying every month, you're going to pay every month a fee. So you have to take that into account when you do your pricing. You have to think it's going to be more expensive to me if they pay me every month instead of paying me in advance for a certain number of sessions or services delivered. So ideally, depending on what the amount is, you probably would be better off doing a package deal where you say, here, take all these sessions. They expire by this date. You have to use them. And you have to pay me for that package. And then I'll just deduct from that package. But it's up to you. You have to look into how you want to run your business. And the other thing that we should talk about with pricing is what is expensive versus affordable, right? So there is no such thing. And the reason there's no such thing is because, one person thinks it's normal to spend $300 on groceries, but they will have a lot of difficulty forking over $300 for a really good course, So what does that mean, expensive versus non-expensive? I'll tell you how people measure. They measure things not by the price, even though they may say that, that's not what they really mean. What they mean is the value that they perceive for themselves for that solution. So if I have a huge problem that's bothering me, like weight loss, and I find somebody who really impressed me, who I totally have been convinced that this person can help me with my weight loss journey, the price isn't going to be the biggest concern. In fact, when I hear their price, I'm going to think, oh, how can I figure out how to pay them? And that will be how I will think of it. But if weight loss isn't really a priority for me and someone is selling weight loss, it doesn't really matter how much they want because I'm just not really into it. I'm not going to spend my money because I just don't think it's that important on my priority list. That's the difference. And also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, since it's not that important, I should stick with free resources. I can probably find some YouTube videos. I can get an ebook for $7. I can find all these different resources instead of paying. But if I'm like trying to establish a business and this is everything's riding on my success, then I'm much more ready to invest in a coach and do the 4-figure, 5-figure thing because I know that on my own, I'm not getting there. I'm not going to get there. So some people are super, super cheap and they think like, I want everything for nothing. And they're always trying to negotiate or get more services. They're using you, right? They're using service providers. But these people have poor self-esteem issues and they've been mistreated. So they just generally mistreat others. There's a saying, hurt people hurt people. And so if you ever get one of those people, don't ever make any effort to try to convince them to buy from you. In fact, it's like a red flag that you probably want to politely walk away and be like, oh, it's up to you. If you ever need me, I'm here. You know how to reach me, you know how to buy my services, but don't ever get into a discussion with them about pricing because they are just out to kind of negotiate because when you have low self-esteem, you get underpaid and you're used to being taken advantage of. So then they just want to do it to everyone else. It's an abuser situation. They've been abused, so they abuse other people. And you'll see that right away if someone starts like, oh, you're too expensive, or this isn't, because I don't believe in such a thing. I believe that there's either it's not the right time for me because it's not a priority, or it's not a priority in general. So I'm not willing to pay that much for it. So that all that means is it redirects you towards you need to find the client who really, really, really needs that service. They need that service, and it's exactly what you do. And you guys are a match made in heaven. And then the only question is how to pay for it and figure out, how flexible you want to be. What are your policies? Are you going to accept a payment plan? Can you break the payment down into several parts? A lot of companies, once we hit the 4-figure, 5-figure range, we tend to make payment plans and we say, you know what, you can pay me by month. You can pay me 50% upfront and then pay me the rest at the end, because we just understand that most people don't just have 4 figures, 5 figures additional laying around to invest in personal development, professional development, coaching, services, whatever. But I would really, really advise you guys to do your research into what I'm telling you and take some time to really price your products the right way. And whatever you're thinking of charging, I want you to ask yourself, what would happen if I doubled that? So when I ask you, what's your first price for your product? And you tell me $47. And I say, so what would happen if you doubled that? You know, um, would people still buy it? So whatever you think, we don't want to be too hasty with pricing. We want to let it sit a little bit. And then another thing you might be considering is, let's say that your product, you know exactly who you think this product is for. Why don't you ask a few people in real life? So look, I'm developing this product for whatever. Here's the type of person that I want to help. Here's the outcome that I want to give them. Do you think that this is a reasonable price to ask for? And make sure this is a type of person who you think would probably buy such a product or need such a product. And maybe once you get the conversation going, you can ask them why or why not. You can ask them, have they ever hired somebody or paid for services or bought a course? and what are their thoughts in general about this? Because remember, it's not only about how valuable it is to them or the priority, but it's also about their past experiences. So if I'm used to working with people on Fiverr.com, which is really, really super cheap, and then I work with someone in the West, in like Canada, France, Germany, America, I'm going to be shocked by the prices because the prices are really different. And I'm going to have to justify why I can get better service from those paying more money and working with those people versus paying less and working with people in a different part of the world. So, those are things to consider. But ultimately, I want you to feel confident that if you've done your research, you know the value you offer and you communicate it really, 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 really well on your sales pages, in your offers, in your videos, in whatever you use to sell, that you must not feel guilty anymore. You must not go further and say, oh, I feel really bad charging them this amount of money. Because think about it. Look what private universities cost. We're talking about like 40 grand a year. And if you're going to work one-on-one with the person over 12 months and you don't want to charge them 5 figures, you're crazy, because you're giving them so much. At university, you're sitting there and you're basically taking the equivalent of an online course with a live speaker, and you're barely getting any like one-on-ones. That's not really part of the program. You can ask a question, but you don't get one-on-one at college, right? And you're paying 40 grand for that. Whereas if you work one-on-one with a coach, you're going to get all one-on-one. Everything's going to be customized for you. You're going to ask all the questions you want. You're going to get really tailored advice for your situation. So there's a huge difference, in my opinion. I think you're getting a lot of value. So why not charge 5 figures for that? Why not? And here's the thing, to conclude this, you're going to find there's a lot of different pricing out there. There is no standard. What do we charge for this? Because it's going to be about the value of the person. For me, I think I can offer people this value. Another coach will think a different value. My experience levels play a role in that. My self-confidence. Most people are undercharging, that's for sure. But you can't just measure based on so-and-so charges that much, because there is no norm. And that's why I prepared this video, because I wanted to show you kind of like the guidelines for, 2 figures, 3 figures, 4 figures, 5 figures, and then let you start thinking about this, start researching, and ultimately price things that works for you. I have one last thing to tell you, and this is super, super important. And that is, please, please, please don't price things by hour. So I truly believe that you have to get away from being, charging on your time by hour, and go towards charging for the value you deliver. So the higher your price, the more they should see results that they can, guaranteed results. The more you charge for your price, the more you should guarantee that they're going to see results. They're going to see a before and after transformation. And, they're going to feel confident because you're with them, you're helping them one-on-one. And sincerely, that's what people want to pay for. They pay for a solution to their problem. They're not paying for your hourly rate. So get away from this hourly rate thing and figure out how to price things based on the outcome that they're going to get. If it's something that they are going to be able to take and make money with, it should be expensive. Just like a diploma is like $40,000, right? Because you can use it to get a job. So anything that helps them build something or really gives them a huge outcome, not just something nice to have, the price should go up accordingly. And that's it. That's all I want to tell you guys. I really, really hope that you guys like this video. If you do, please give it a like, and please consider subscribing. I produce videos for entrepreneurs, content creators, coaches, consultants, and small business owners to help them with money, marketing, and mindset and love what they do. So thank you for watching my video, and also consider watching this other video on money mindset, which is very, very important in your business, and also multiple revenue streams. Those two videos can really help you with your business to make sure you've got the right products at the right prices for the right people. Have a great day and go out there and love, love, love what you do.